speaking truth, seeking heart, reaching knowledge, leaking seeds, sowing harvest, reaping man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
Peace, no. Peace, 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 peace. Let me grab my tea real fast, man. We're gonna get started. Give me one hot second. All right, all right, all right. Malik, I had to get some moves, man. That workout was a mother, man.
Yeah. I was trying to keep you exciting, new and exciting.
And we give you gratitude.
Right back to you.
Absolutely, my brother. Much love and honor to you as well, as always. But yeah, last week we was talking about the topic, I, self, law, and master, and I was breaking down the I, S, L, A, M. Did you give us our most American prayer, Malik?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah, our protector, our God, and our salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, through our Ali, M.aster, Shalom Aleichem, Ash'ar, Islamism, Hotep, peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace to you, brother, to your family, to all true light seekers, everybody here on our StreamYard, on my YouTube page, on our Temple and School YouTube page, and everybody here on TikTok that comes back over and over and over. I give you honor, I give you love, I give you light, and I give you understanding. So last week, we were speaking on some of the Gnostic teachings and some of the esoteric teachings of the I, self, law, and master pertaining to man, aka tabernacle that's built without hands. And we got to, and I stopped. You want to say something, Malik?
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay, my bad. And we stopped at a certain spot. I think we got to the ISL. I think we got to the A. Yep, we got through all that. But I wanted to we got to the 6-pointed star with the and the of Islam, with the 6-point so-called star coming together, and those degrees coming together. When you look at symbology, and we broke down the masonry and what the G represents in geometry. So we covered all those perspectives, last week, if you were here. So we talked about the supreme triangle, aka the white triangle pointing upward, symbolizes the Siva, the fire, the light, the celestial powers, and also the divine trinity, aka unity in man, ever evolving upward after its incarnation in matter, seeking more expression on a higher level. And the reflection, the so-called black triangle pointing downward, symbolizes the dark waters of chaos, in which the divine germ is laid, and also the instability of man's lower nature as unstable as water. So we touched on all that last week. And in conclusion from last week, woman has 12 outlets in her body, of which 9 are above the navel in the north gate. You see the symbology? And 3 below the navel in the south gate. So we spoke about this last week. Man has 9 outlets in his body, 7 of which are above the navel in the north gate. The other two below the navel in the south gate. So I hope brothers see the symbology, AKA the 0 zodiac circle, where you put the circle, a line down in the middle, a line across, 333, 333, 333, 333, you know? So you get that cross, or how can I say, crossified 0 zodiac circle. It's the East principle of Islam, if you understand and stay in context. We're not here to put a cap on your wisdom. That's not this. And the mark of the master. And it signifies that when one has completed the 360 degrees of learning on one level, he or she must now embark on the first degree of the next. That's why I always say 360 is just the sum of material wisdom, but 720 degrees is the sum total of both material and spiritual wisdom. So the quartered circle denotes the division of matter into both visible and invisible, animate and inanimate, organic and inorganic states. So we spoke on that last week. I just wanted to highlight some things. And even when we deal with the mathematics of Islam, the number 1 represents the brown man, the Moabite nation, you know, the absolute and the infinite possibilities, which all proceeds, which contains all, and to which all finally returns. We're just going back to ourselves, God, Allah, Jehovah, whatever you want to call it, and that all earthlings are descendants from the one race, the Moabite. So as we get to higher science, as we get to understanding these numbers in this supreme mathematics or the supreme hika, we talk about, like we would say, the 7 Kemetic principles, you know, we are Moors, regardless how anybody want to feel. I'm not here to argue with that with anyone, whether they are conscious or unconscious. One represents the universal principle, the creative intelligence, that force which is the motive power of the universe in man becomes intelligent and will. And in science, it is the law of conservation of energy. In the macrocosms, it indicates unlimited potentiality. In man, it indicates relative potentiality. And so when we talk about these relative things in these number systems, just like the 2 express polarity, it suggests night and day, annihilation and exhalation, heat and cold. The most evident of all things is duality, even truth being dual, esoteric and exoteric, the real and the appearance. So you got the real and then the appearance of being real, a clean glass and a dirty glass. Some people can't tell the difference. 2 represents the universal law of sex per se, attraction and repulsion, love, hate. The force per se, centrifugal force per se, it represents the crescent and the star. In science, it is the law that every action is accompanied by what? An equal and opposite reaction. Why? Because the pendulum swings the same way to the left as it does to the right. And in the microcosm, it is the positive and the so-called negative. And in man, it is represented by reason, intuition, and by our differentiation into the polar opposites, man, woman. It is the 6-pointed star per se. The number 4 expresses the result of action, the fruit of 2 interacting forces. It thus represents the practical, the concrete, that which has form and substance, hence is typical of the universal truth of reality. Therefore, in the microcosm of it, the results of action. And in man, it is the offspring of experience. It's concrete and substance. So it is the foundation. Now watch this. 13 is an occult number. It signifies a strong base. Thus, it is a square. 13 is composed of 1 plus 3 equals 4. The number 7 is composed of 3 and 4, expressing action and realization. Thus, it is the number of completion of form. Things of physical plane, which have perfection of form, are, how can I say, constituted of 3 active elements and 4 passive formative elements. And man has within our body all the elements of the earth. There must be active and passive elements within man in order for us to function on this physical plane. See, these are things that we have to agree with if we understand any form of reason. The religion aspect, we're not doing that. We're not separating each other. Sign signifies that man is composed of the 4 essences made into one being and controlled by will and guided by intelligence. 4 times 3. You know?
Absolutely.
That 4. Yeah, that 4 and that 3, that 7. It also indicates the 7 principles of nature. The number 9 is the sacred number. Just like in our affairs, when we say 9 to the 9th power of 9, what are we talking about? That fez, that mundane ball. In this context, that whole birth cycle. That mundane ball, that white fez, that represents the star of the east. It is the highest digit and has many unusual properties. It may be multiplied by any number, and the digits repeatedly added together will give 9 as their sum, and all numbers above 9 in their last analysis consist of a root number to which multiplies of 9 have been added. And this root is always the sum of its digits. As composed, yes, sir. That's a fact. As composed of 5 and 4. You say what, Noble?
I said, yes, sir.
You know it. Yep. As composed of 5 and 4. Life and foundation. It signifies man realizing, woman realizing all that earth can teach. As consisting of 3 and 6, intelligent and creation. It indicates temptation overcome by action. As composed of 2 and 7, duality and law. It indicates intuition and reason added to perfectly unite body, soul, and spirit with mind, with mind, with mind. As composed of 1 and 8, man and matter. It indicates that intertia or intertia, E-N-E-R-T-I-A, inertia has been overcome by what? Intelligence, that lower self, that's doubt, that lower thing has been overcome by what? Wisdom, direction of the will. And in the macrocosm, it signifies by being 3 times 3. Master, action on all 3 planes, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. It's no more planes to go. And in man, this becomes what? The number of wisdom. The number 10 expresses the same as the number 1, except that it symbolizes a complete cycle has been finished. It therefore shows that one round of experience has been completed and that another cycle of experience is being commenced. 9 shows that all the possibilities of one plane have been experienced, and 10 indicates the transition to a new plane where other possibilities await. Watch this, brothers and sisters of truth. When one reaches 360 degrees or 9, then the next plane awaits. 360 degrees on the physical plane, once your degree on that mental per se. And then 10 is composed of 2 5s. We call that the life, denoting woman and man together, or humanity at large. I put it in different concepts: the Assyrian lion, the Babylonian bull, the Egyptian calf or the heifer, the brazen serpent of Moses, the dragon of China, the serpent mound of Ohio, and the Lamb of God, the tau cross, the Egyptian so-called cross, the so-called cross of modern Christianity, and the circle per se with the line down and a cross, the orb of the papal religion, are one and the same in meaning. The zero with the circle with the dot of Freemasonry, or the line with the circle in a minute, then the dot, then another line. So you got two lines on one side, put a circle in a minute and the dot, or the triangle with the circle around it, or the codices of Mercury, have all the same great teaching, hidden only to the uninitiated and the profane. That's why I laugh at brothers. I say, man, I don't care what that little lower more science who the supreme grand sheik, man. I tell people it's a whole nother level of wisdom that I'm on. I'm Tasawwuf, I'm Sufi. No one put a cap on my understanding. I don't gravitate, nobody in my temple, none of my muftis, none of my nobles. We don't gravitate to one science where we miss any of the rest. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But now here at the BBT, we got our own divine creed. We got our own bylaws. We got our own charter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't have to hate the temple, but I know what the temple is about. Why? Because I know, duh, and people be butthurt. It's just like Malcolm. When Malcolm was a part of things, he saw things wasn't right. Malcolm had to create his own. Same as I. Ain't no man ruling me when I am him, when I am the shrine, and my muftis are the shrine, my muftis are noble. Please, with all due respect. So let's proceed. But it's the great teacher hidden only to the uninitiated and the profane, and the mystery of the triune or the truant worship, the zero or the circle with the dot, the father, the so-called crescent, the mother, the so-called star, the child, or even the so-called circle with the cross in the middle, aka the earth, as the child, emanated from astrology and nothing else. It's in your Bible when it speaks of Maserat. Fact check me. The Bible speaks in analogy, parable, and symbology. See, this is the science of more science. This is even when you see what the Catholic Church took out, researched Sibyls of Mami Waters. When you research the god Artemis, see all this stuff beginning because they took the woman out of it and put man, man, man. See, a lot of people is not educated enough to know this. You can't use the Bible to defend history or to denounce history. You have to use history and see what was taken out historically. And when you see and when you research the Mami Waters and the Sibyls, you see what I'm talking about, what the Vatican and the Catholic Church has hidden. See, these is facts. This is history. And you see how we get connotated and get off our history and get to something totally outside of ourselves. Everybody started off with the Zodiacus, the Moabite nation, named woman, Zodiacus, from which derived the name zodiac, zoology, biology, the sources of evolution upon the physical, the mental, and the spiritual plane of life. The Moabite nation had no mystic God doctrine, contrary to what? The Zodiacus. So when you look all through history with God, with the god Artemis, and how a lot of people, Europeans, have these in a personal museum, and they change the tone of the god Artemis. This is what I'm telling you, and it's all in the Sibyl's histories, the Mami Waters. I'm telling you, the Catholic churches and stuff have this stuff. I'm telling you, I got the history. With all due respect, the Moabite nation had no mystic God doctrine, contrary to Zodiacus, the divine law of evolution. And after Zodiacus, the Moabite woman had taught their male sons, offsprings of secret of Zodiacus, the zodiac, zoology, biology, the laws of creation. It resulted in the loss of their powers of creation and control of the world by a universal mind in the year 46,000 AM. Now, remember, when I show you how power and stuff be changed, remember what I say. The sons always do the bidding of what? The mother. Now, you got to remember, certain people in a certain area, they love those other women, and they had them in their harems. So when they have those children, I just said, the son does the bidding of the mother. That's a whole nother teaching, but let's proceed. I'm connecting dots. Aha moment should be sparking up in your hippocampus. The era of Atlantis and Mu, of Yakutan in the Caribbean Sea, and the age of man-made gods since the fall of the Moabite nation in 49,000 AM is only 2,000 years old from that time. Now, evolution, you got to remember, a man made gods since the fall of Zodiacus began with the last high priest, astrologer, mathematician of the Moabite nation by the name of Merlukkinel, who named the creator of the universe El. Just like I tell people, it's 16 crucified saviors of Jesus Christ. If it is, then we have to understand that and say, okay, well, this comes from this and this and this and this. We have to just be honest. We're the only group of people that we try to make something look like us. We're not stripping nobody of their culture. I'm sure not.
Nope.
I'm not dealing with all due respect, no pale Arab stuff. I'm not dissing my African culture, talking about some Arab stuff, because I know what the true Arab consists of. I know what a true Arab consists of historically. Vladimir Dale and his 28 dictionary tell you what an Arab is, an A-R-A-P, not an A-R-A-B. Vladimir Dale, his book, The Arab, tell you what a true Arab is, an ancient Arab. So I'm not even going to have that argument or discussion with no one. And then gave so-called Jacob, Jacob, the name Israel. And then God Elohim, translated Elahu, translated as Yahweh, Jehovah, and Adonai. Remember, in Masonry, well, y'all might not know, a lot of people might not know this, but my European Masons, my Scottish Rite Masons know, it's a book called Atlantis of the Latter Days, and the European Mason called itself L.aw. L.aw. So research that name. I'm telling you, Adonai, Krishna, D, and to L.aw or Allah, this man-made gods, has undergone 7 stages of evolution since the fall of the Moabite nation. The history of the 12 signs of the zodiac reveals that humanity on a global scale has been totally cut off from the truth for, during this time, 400 years. I keep telling y'all, Mazzaroth in the Bible, read it. Research what Mazzaroth means in the Bible. Then come back to me if you're confused. If you don't know what a Melchizedek and what it represents, read Hebrews, the whole book of Hebrews, and then come back to me and we'll have a great discussion. Because my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge. Why? Because we refuse to learn. The Bible is written in analogy and parable and symbology. If 2 figures so-called went to heaven without dying in the Bible, Enoch and who else? Somebody, all you got to do is look it up. Why Enoch is not in the Bible? Because the Bible tell you. Didn't you read this in the book of Yasher? Those are prerequisites. The Bible speaks of 100 books, specifically 20, as prerequisites. So let's proceed. Thus, the history of the 12 signs of the zodiac, right? The history of the 12 signs of the zodiac has revealed that great chain of human process during the past eons of years, from the Moabites to the Moors, and from the Moors to the Franciscans, or the French, or the Anglo-Saxons, where the dark-skinned, kinky-haired, thick-lipped Moabite or Moorish woman come from. No one knows. There is not an animal in the world that has thick lips, kinky hair, and dark skin like her. All that which can be proven is that she is the mother of male and female, the human race, who reproduce their kind. That's why I say the woman is Mayat, the garden that produces food and life. She, the Moabite or the Moorish woman, is referred to as a widow. And what I be saying is, please don't take the wrong conception, because all female or women are equally mothers and sisters, and all male sons come into being by way of them. Therefore, all sons are born and sons of a widow. Think about it. Think about it. When we talk about hell and purgatory and all this, what people say, well, ignorance of the science, truth of the works of nature involving the inner nature and action and reaction of human beings, as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac, results in a confused state of mind and mental, economic, and social suffering, referred to as hell. That's the real hell and purgatory. When you think you're finna die, but you've been reading the Lord's Prayer since you was a little kid, you want the same thing on earth as it is in heaven. Duh. The real heaven, freedom and peace, the real salam. Knowledge of the zodiac gives one a perfect state of mind and reason upon the namely, the forces of nature which dwell within themselves and about them, all of which is referred to as heaven, aka heaven and happiness and peace of mind with oneself. I'm telling you.
Peace in oneself. That's what
Yeah,
Sufism is, all about self-mastery. All of this
yeah,
stuff is monotheism, about self-mastery.
yes. We don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest here at the BBT. Not here. Not here. I hear where everybody. If you part of this, like I said, yes, I understand a part of science. It's just like going back in history and dealing with a whole bunch of old stuff. Okay, now you got to get current. You still using a rotary phone. Talk about you high, you wisdom, man. You using a rotary phone. You still on that tradition. You still on that. We way past that. We dealing with
Yeah,
the upper
we the
echelon. That's what
subject.
we're doing right here. All that debate, all that nonsense, it's only one history, it's only one science, it's only one truth. And we're dealing with scholarship right here.
That's wrong.
When we talk about more science, the more science is knowledge, order, rhythm, astrology, astronomy, nature. More science ain't, well, this arguing over some old person or some stupid document. Some people talk about filing. Don't nobody give a dang about that, with all due respect. Not here at the BBT. We too grown for that. We'll tell you what's gonna happen.
Yep.
We got enough experience with trying to save people, and we just say, okay, and you see for it yourself, and you get a big knot on your head. And that goes, and the pendulum swing both ways. That's for men and women. We've seen it with our own eyes.
Yep.
But that's why knowledge is power. And being without it's most, how can I say, detrimental to oneself. It's like, Malik, we use the analogy of the doohickey, which is the light switch, and the electricity. And when people think they heavy, you will ask them a question and they're not even listening to the question. It's like on Jeopardy, they asking the question, you will hit the button before they even ask the question. You don't even know. You see what I'm saying? That's how brothers be doing it. It's like, wait a minute, you need to slow down.
Yeah, they're not listening.
Yes, you're not listening. Wisdom is the creator herself. Why? Because in the biblical scripture, Sophia is the female counterpart of wisdom. It's saying, if anything you seek wisdom. Seek Sophia. Seek wisdom. And those who despise wisdom and instruction are fools. In Proverbs 1:7 of the Christian Bible, last time I read it, Malik. Last time I read it, Malik, I ain't that crazy. I'm a little crazy, but I ain't that crazy. Wisdom is the creator herself. And those who despise wisdom and instruction are fools in Proverbs 1:7. So what I'm saying, one should aspire to what? Know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding in Proverbs 1:2. And then you get these, no disrespect, these brothers, it's almost like martial arts. When the people be like, oh yeah, we part of a group and we've been established this long. And then here comes along Sheik Goodman Bey and all this with his students, and his students will whoop all the masters, you know what I'm saying? And then you feel a certain way. Why? Because this wisdom and because this understanding is more touched with the Holy Spirit than this. Or you were one of these old school rappers and you see these young dudes taking advantage of their name, likeness, and influence, and you mad and you a sucker because you ain't teach nobody. Man, go on, sit down, man. Go on, sit down. Go on, have several seats. We been done with that. We riding past it. You say what, Noble?
I say, who fault is that?
Exactly. And with these thoughts, bear in mind that the history of Moorish nation and all of its related subjects with the S have not been taught. Because Moorish science ain't no people talk about no whole bunch of paper, talk about they some Moroccans. Moorish science is understanding, dealing with history, dealing with politics, dealing with the community, dealing with things going on, creating your schools, creating your 7th hour, create infrastructure, being visible in the community with the seniors. That's Moorish science. Moorish science ain't nobody talk about they some Moorish conflict, some Moroccan general.
Nope, not at all.
You know?
Not at all.
And unfortunately, we have let others educate us. Like Malik be saying, how you acting like a giraffe and you a lion? You doing all of the giraffe stuff, and that's going against your nature.
Well, it all depends on who you raised by, right?
There you go. You know? to believe that your forefathers were brought from Africa to the U.S. as Negroes and slaves. That's us doing that.
Those are terms
Yes,
that we accept.
yes,
It was really
yes,
paper terrorism.
yes, yes, yes. So
Paper
it's so much.
genocide.
Hey, Malik, that's what it's all about, man. Like, we here to cheat.
I ain't gonna lie, we gotta get out of the churches. The churches don't be teaching. They be
They
promulgating the
can't.
same old. Like,
They can't.
real talk. And it's no diss, but it's just a fact.
Yes. And Malik, when we be getting the color tone, and when people be saying Yakub is really Jacob in your Bible. I hope
Absolutely.
brothers, and when brothers be missing the context, they be like, "You believe in Yakub?" I said, "Oh, here we go again." I said, "You have to be educated. If you think it's two creators and this and the other, you have to understand." Just let me break a little tittle of understand of wisdom, of wisdom. You don't have to believe nothing I say, but let me give you a little tittle of wisdom, for it can take you to another level of understanding, and maybe you will search something, maybe you will seek deep. When ordinary colors such as watercolors, oils, crayons, I hear myself double talking.
Oh, sorry.
Pastels, oh, you good? Pastels, etc., are blended. They form a what? Brownish black color. Just like when I talk about swarty, just like when I talk about brunette. Sorry, Charlie, those are colors. Just like when you see so-called Jesus on the cross, you see indigo. Those are a certain color. These colors are all considered to be static, aka dead. Follow the concepts. Follow the concept. However, when all the various shades of skin tones and complexions of humanity are blended, the last stage is what? White. With all due respect, and when one's vibrations are lifted to the highest level or to the highest visible physical stage, they are white light. And this is true because man is a dynamic being rather than a static one. Follow me? Hence the Patagonian, blonde, other nationality, with all due respect, are the sum total of all the races. It's no disrespect. My professors talk about the Anglo-Saxon aspect. My professors talk about Revelation 2:9 and 3:9. So we're not being disrespectful.
You might want to repeat that so they heard you.
Malik Star stuff, y'all. Malik Star stuff. I ain't said that. That's Malik. Y'all doing that. Blame that all on Malik.
You said it. I just said repeat it.
What you want me to repeat, Noble?
About how all the colors, where they come from. Same source.
Same source. The same source. The same source. You know? When one vibration are lifting together, the highest visible physical stage, they are all white light. And it's true because man is dynamic, being rather than static. But when we talk about all those colors mixed together, like those oil colors, like brownish, black color, all those colors, you know, it's all blended. And then you get that last stage, which is white. With all due respect, we're not saying nothing about no one, you know?
That's called the lack thereof.
Yes. Egos don't
like
control.
The lack thereof all things, like lack thereof, original, the origin, the lack of the origin, lack of color, the lack of nature or nurture, the lack. Just think about all the destruction in the world. Who has caused those things? The lack thereof, lack of culture.
Yeah. Now remember, y'all always hear people say, Noble Drew Ali said he was going to remove the veil of things. I'm about to remove a certain veil. Watch this. Now listen, all the other abominable and degenerated acts that, no disrespect, Anglo-Saxons, troglodyte, whatever you want to say, Albion, with all due respect, because we're not just going to say European, because I have to explain Europe, because you got ancient and modern Britons from Europe. So we'll
look like us.
Yes, we'll say Anglo-Saxon, we'll say Albion, we'll say troglodyte, with all due respect. How about that? How about that? And therefore, to what avail has such a body benefited the person? Now watch this. We finna deal with with some esoteric wisdom. Steeped in the mystic arts. Now remember, everything is art. Stay with me. Steeped in the mystic arts. Yaqub, aka Jacob, knew all of this. And it is the basic reason that I'm just explaining the story, but I'm making it, you know, how can I say it? Metaphysical. The basic reason why he has been interpreted so differently. Some say that the word Yaqub means the devil. Others says it means the preserver. And at any rate, Yaqub as the devil simply refers to the mastery over the mystic arts. I hope y'all listening to your brother. If anybody come to you and tell you different, they on some old crazy religious stuff. They on some crazy, with all due respect, Jehovah Witness stuff. And they don't know I know that I know that you don't know that I know, and they know that I know that I know. All that stuff come from that Jehovah Witness stuff, that Rudolph stuff. And then I start showing you verbatim stuff. You'll be like, Sheik, how you know this? Because I tell y'all, man, this is my craft. This is my profession. That's why. With all due respect. And during a certain time period in Detroit, certain figures was around watching a certain Rudolph lectures and another person, the one that wrote all the Watchtower stuff, with all due respect. But we could proceed. Oh, we definitely go proceed. The devil or the so-called demon implies demigods or demigod, just like when we talk about Grimmer, they be like, what you mean? That's a whole nother teaching. So so-called
That's like saying your lower self is a lie.
Come on. Yaqub, aka Jacob, through his studies and knowledge of the solar system, realized that the demigods who were in control had knowledge of strange and terrible sciences. Strange and terrible science is not nothing spooky. It just means different. If somebody has something that you don't have, you can say, man, they got some strange and stuff science. But you be like, why do you want to call it strange and this, that, and the other? Just because you ain't never seen it.
Misuse. It's the misuse.
Come on, Malik. I'm with you, Noble. I'm right here with you. In some of the ancient writings, these gods are referred to as the Lucifer spirit. We talk about the book of dead, the book coming forth by 9 day, all these, you think it's about being dead? The European has now, no disrespect, the Albion, the Troglodyte, whatever you want to call it, the Anglo-Saxon, with all due respect, Eurocentric,
being in the dark.
Yes, being in the dark, in your lower self. Now change this.
The lack of wisdom.
Yes, it changed it to evil, referred to as Lucifer or Satan, a so-called person. Knowing that our solar system is controlled by the AKA Lucifer spirit. Remember, Jacob used the mystical arts and sciences to create the people who are now the masters of the material world. I mean, it's in your Bible. With no disrespect. If we saying this is fact, then some have to be created. I'm just illuminating the story. To obtain this knowledge, he learned the ritual of the what? Demigod, in charge of the scientific knowledge. Now I'm talking in the spirit. He sought, fasted, and waited for the response. You got to see this. This Yaqub became the master of the material planet Earth. This Jacob. And so when we talk about things, how I just said the son does the bidding of the mothers. Now let's think in plain sight. Let's think in high sight, one-on-one for a minute. Okay, so we can talk about a time when a group of Moors, Africans, whatever you want to call it, were seafarers, and they go to a certain area, and what they love that pale, that type of woman, and they get them in the harems, and they have their children. I hope we're saying. Then they say, well, these are the fathers and the sons of a whole different race. Why? Because ain't nobody seen these type of mixing before, per se. I'm just making it plain. We getting rid of the mystic stuff. You can see what I'm saying in history. You see who you have, who those African brothers have in their harem. And then when I take it all the way a little bit modern, and I get to the DAR, which is Daughters of American Revolution, you see how things was took over the same way with masonry. Why? Because the sons does the bidding of the mother on both level planes. Now, if you didn't catch that, ma, like Johnny Gill said, ma, you didn't catch it. They the ones playing with you, turning the pentagram. You ain't catching what I'm saying. They ain't catching it. They don't want to turn the pentagram because they got you on that evil stuff. So they represent the evil. They ain't telling you the truth. It's there. It's symbology. It's all outside. I just gave you some wisdom. The other people, you know, they know that they are children of this. That's why in Masonry, they'll say that they're sons and daughters of Muslims on their charter. I hope you're catching it. And then what our old people say, that they some widow son. Oh, my, once again, in my Johnny Gill voice, my, you ain't catch it? You still ain't catch it. People still ain't catch it. They sons and daughters of Muslims. My. They give hints about this knowledge in books. So you can see the pathways and the avenues of acquiring it. But to make the pathway dark and rough, the Aryan, changed the language to modern English as a smokescreen, a nom de plume per se, in military, code names, analogy, parable, and symbology. Gematria, esoteric wisdom. The original English was derived from the ancient language of the Druids, being one who were known for their terrible mystical sciences. Terrible. Genesis 35:10. Genesis 35:10 and 25:25 are biblical verifications of Yaakov's, aka Jacob's, creation and the blessings his father gave him. Read it. All you gotta do is read it for yourself. You ain't got to listen to me. Only this history has been confused as a result of other people's abilities, Eurocentric and Negrocentric, because we're not blaming it on one, because I know people that look like me, that's scholars. So we're not going to say this, the other man did this. No, because we got our own people teaching this. Like my Noble Malik said, we got to come from about those Negrocentric churches that's keeping us on our knees. That's with all due respect. With all due respect, it keep us confused, mystified. And those changes were finally completed during the Revolutionary War of 1776, up until the Christian Unionized States Society of 1854 and 1863. And today, the masses will call the knowledge that so-called Yaqub Jacob had, they'll say it was magic, or AKA black magic, the magic of tradition in the popular mind and tricks. But in reality, though, it's yoga. You heard me. Exactly. It's yoga. Remember what I said. You got to keep in your hippocampus that the ignorance of modern Western science about yoga caters to the masses, mistakenly calling it magic or a bag of tricks. On the spiritual plane, everything is out in the open, and there is no ignorance. Therefore, there is no world of illusion, because man's ignorance of the invisible forces that move the universe is due to his crystallized state in gross matter. And since higher beings, because we here can look right through these bodies, this physical plane is also an astral plane of sorts per se. And the wonders of the universe are infinite. See, this is wisdom. You got to understand, brothers and sisters, when we deal with ancient wisdom, remember in ancient Egypt, it was this type of magic that attained to the grade of completion as a cosmic science and was formulated as a perfect doctrine. Therefore, creation is the great magic, brothers and sisters. What? Creation. We create. We take brother from this state to this state. That's a form of creation. The great mysteries of the universe are the creative processes constantly occurring all around you and I, yet so trite and common to us that we never know. Yes, that we never know nor reflect upon these things. The knowledge given to Jacob by his father and the cosmic matters, the space people, was cosmogic. It was knowledge of all the past. This is what being given the 8 ball refers to, y'all. Watch this. Scorpio, the 8th sign of the zodiac. Metaphysics, listen to your brother. We dealing with Gnostic science. The sign of wisdom and the 8th house, the house of death per se. Legacies and inheritance. These legacies are the mystic arts and so-called black and white magic. Remember these keys. These is keys. Magic or magi means science and astral order. So in 49,000 PM pre-Moorish history, Jacob, Yaqub per se, created what we say, I'm just telling y'all the story, that other man pertaining to the Bible, pertaining to their story. We just breaking it down, but I'm breaking it metaphysical down. We breaking down the myth. We destroying the myth, because you should have already caught that. I already destroyed the myth. We destroyed the myth early in the teachings, partly for his own personal reason, and also as a countermeasure for the sins of the so-called Moabite nation. Now, in the Bible, these experiments, which resulted in the 12 tribes of Israel, or Jacob's ladder, are a human boutique, the different races of man. It was after the creation of these 12 tribes that Morlakin El, the father of Jacob, Yaakov, Caucus, Cushatus, Jacob, in the Christian Bible, changed his name to Jacob, Yaakov, Israel. And this too is mentioned in Genesis 35. All of this caused the earth pain due to the horrible scientific experiments. Yet out of this pain came pleasure and beauty and the opportunity for human development. If we're going to tell the story, didn't Jacob's ladder represent communion with God, meaning he possessed what? Clairvoyance. The name Israel is derived from where? Asar, the sun god, sometimes known as Suro, Surah, and Sur. Israel means, in short, striving with God. See, we can deal with the wisdom because the wisdom is clear. You're not going to get this at nobody, or no disrespect, when a person say, well, with all due respect. You're going to get the same old stuff that you've been getting people arguing, semantics. No building, no growing. This is the great growth and development here at the BBT, which we say we the upper echelon. We have to be. I'm telling you, if you read the biblical scriptures and everything and start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, the Semitic nation know in traditional history are the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Armenians, the Phoenicians, Hebrews, Edomites, Moabites, Amorites, Carthaginians, Moors of the North Africa, the so-called Arabs, named after Negro Javero, aka Araba, and the Abyssinians. The Semitic language are closely akin to one another, and they are also the first phonetic corruptions of the eldest children of the early Sanskrit. And these and the Semites, especially the so-called Arabs, later the Aryans, were degenerate in spirituality, but perfect in materiality, with all due respect. And you can research this. A close kinship also exists between the Semitic people and the people called Hamitic, the Egyptians, the Berbers, and the tribes of Somaliland, aka Yaakov, Jacob's sons and daughters, have given themselves many names, most common of which are Afghan, aka Africa, India, Spanish, Ethiopia, Greco or Greek, Jew, and Chinese. I hope my brothers and sisters know this. We just giving wisdom. We're giving wisdom. I said I'm gonna break down the adapt science to remove the veil of religious dogma, the things that separated us, and then give you the same story that somebody give you and say, okay, well, we hear that, and I know what you're doing, but let me illuminate this. How can I say the ones of the way talk about? What we know, what's being talked about at the Philosophical Research Society. I'm bringing something back to your remembrance. You got to understand this. It's right in your face. Yeah, Malik. It's right in our face. Stuff be right in our face. I'll be like, dude, why? And this is the thing. Why don't we like our brothers? Okay, so it feels back in when Malcolm was rising up, when he was like, hey, when he was like, truth has no sides. I got to come from out this nation of Islam and all this stuff, this hatred stuff. He done went to Mecca and figured some things out. And what? We love Malcolm. Malcolm rose above. And I'll be telling people like, this ain't no game. Everybody should love me. Just like Snoop was on the Source Awards. We know where we at. We're like, we know we in New York.
Okay, well, hold on. They should, just like they all should have loved Jesus, right? But they didn't. They crucified him. So
there you go. That's the point I'm saying, Malik. You spotted that. That's exactly what I was getting to. You know, when people say the other man and the other man, I say, man, I live in the red state. When my brothers come out to Arizona, we don't have no problems. The sea part. So yes, you be persecuted by your own for what? The wisdom. Instead, should be celebrated. I agree. I graduated from wisdom and academia speaking just like this. All my muftis met me at my place of business. You know,
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. True.
So this is what I be saying, and all my brothers are men. So the knowledge that I acquired, even in my beginning stages, when I had my own temple, when I moved to Arizona from Flint, Michigan, I tell everybody, I always been in ministry. I share everything on Facebook, TikTok page. Man, I got over 20, 30 years in ministry and going through different places. My mother and father have doctorate of divinity. I'm part of IDMR, Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research, churches, Islam. I've been through the ranks. And then when I met some Moors in Arizona, I let them come to my temple. They had to leave because these brothers don't be right. And so when the wisdom don't be right, you got to part your ways from my establishment. I always tell people if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. I don't have to bash the temple because we know what the prophet brought. So what we did here, we created a temple and school. There's no need to recreate a more science temple of America. We have one in Flint, Michigan. That's not even open when it's supposed to be. So what we did at the BBT, I have brothers and sisters that don't even know nothing about more science, that know about more science now, that lives change from wisdom, from education. That's what we teach. So we have a school where you can know who you are. Where no one can try to get you caught up with some money telling you you got to file this or you got to pay them some notes and they can make you from a transformer to an Autobot.
You mean from an Autobot to Decepticon?
Yeah. And that's all I'm saying, man. Like we like to have love here, man. But this is the thing we do at the BBT, man. Like I said, we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. We're a group of men. All my muftis are nobles. Nobody put a cap on my brothers. We ain't no gatekeepers here. Everything we talk about, we have a whole library, and we've been trying to share our library with all of you for small donations. Anything you want, a workman to do is hired. But I've done a lot of research. I can, if you're doing homeschool or you're trying to build a library, ask any of my brothers on here. Their library is extensive.
Man, this is the time to learn. With all the stuff going on, this is the time to learn. So y'all need to learn. I mean, real talk, because it's going to benefit us as a people. So if y'all stop being scary, because the time is now. Like, there's no other time better than right now to understand who you are as a people.
Yeah.
And lose Negro, Black, Colored, African American, ETC, Ethiopian. Lose all of that stuff. It's time to shed. It's like peeling like a snake sheds. It's that season. You know what I mean? Because they about to shed right now because it's about to get hot, right? You got to shed that winter coat. So it's time to shed and shed all those misnomers. You know what I mean, of who we are as a people, and understand who you were, and stop arguing and get to the proof and understand and have understanding through love.
Yep. I was talking to a teacher yesterday, Malik, at the grocery store. She saw me with my turban on, and I was showing her pictures of us, at our events, and I was telling her how I met all y'all. She was like, if brothers can just stand up with y'all and listen what y'all saying. She's like, why men can't stand up behind good men like you and your brothers? I ain't know this lady from a can of paint, but she was like, I know exactly who you are. She's like, you from Flint? She's like, everybody follow you. I'm like, huh? She was like, if men just stand up, if they just stand up when you hear something real to stand behind it like other men do, we'll be okay. And I was just like, wow, and it touched me. She's like, men don't stand up when they hear righteousness. They act like it's the problem. And when you in the spirit of the creator, it's like the Holy Spirit coming over you. When you hear righteousness, it seems like you want to do something. It's supposed to be like a cause and effect and make you want to go to the next level and be some action like y'all did. Just like you did when people say this, when your testimony, everybody's testimony is the same. You ain't just come to me osmosisly or nothing like that. Or I didn't come to y'all. Y'all was looking for something. Y'all would look at this and being inspired because y'all already inspiration. And when you go through love and you looking for stuff, bam, you landed here and you ain't left. And that's what I'm telling people because it's real right here.
Yeah, sure is. That's fact.
That's what I can say. We can lead the world anywhere I can go, and we be respected, accepted, no matter if it's whatever organization. We be respected, accepted, and celebrated everywhere. With love, truth, and peace. Everywhere we go. A hi BBT, hi She Goodman Bay, hi Noble Mufti Minister Malik Riedel. Are you guys coming back here to have y'all Morris Ball, this, that, and the other? And we try to bring people together. I have a lot to give. You have a lot to give people that you don't have to pay a lot for. I went through academia. And so if I went through it, I took my brothers through it. I took my everything that I've learned in academia and physics and all this stuff, I bring it back to my brothers. Anything they want to talk about, history, taxes, and things, none other. That's why we do things a certain way. And we just need the people, the body. All these people that follow us on TikTok, all the people that follow my Mufti, y'all should be working out with us every Saturday and Sunday, joining my Mufti page, Malik Reed L on Facebook, hitting us up, getting books. If you need turbans and fezzes, building this community, no matter where you at, because that's what this social media is for. We're supposed to use this to what? For us to link up, for we can build something.
Before they get their turbans and fezzes, they need to understand what that's about first. So you got to come learn. So
Absolutely.
I don't want you just going to be buying no turbans and fezzes and you not understanding what it's about. And, you know, so let me just throw that in there real quick.
You heard what my Mufti said, and I'm glad he'd be saying things, because I always want people to speak. And the reason why we say this is people going to ask you things. And you don't want to be listening to someone on TikTok or got something from somebody else and put these things on your captive or your crown in the wrong manifestation with ego, and then go out in the world and get abused, be at work, being a nuisance. That's what we're talking about. We grown men, and it happens to all of them. Every time they be wanting stuff so bad, but I'm nice. I tell people I'll give it to them. Then they get it and they be at work and they doing this and they get destroyed, with all due respect, because you don't want to learn. You want to put it in the microwaves and then come out here, like Malik saying, and act like that fez done changed you to a holy man. But it's still an idiot with a fez on, like a monkey in a suit. With all due respect. Why? Because if you ain't willing to learn first before you put something on your head, I agree with my noble and people, but I respect anybody if they just say, go, I want to wear a fez. I respect that just for that aspect, just for anybody want to wear their fez in their turban. I respect that. But as my noble said, knowledge and wisdom and understanding should jump into your excitement and stop you in your tracks. This is where the Holy Spirit is leading, not you, and say, no, I need to learn. I need to understand what this is all about, for I can correct myself. For I don't think this is no magic halo and all the things that I'm doing, or if I do anything, it's not going to be a offense that can cause me to lose my freedom.
Yep. I'll reach my destination, Sheik.
Islam. So gratitude, y'all, for taking time to listen to us, man. I'm done. I hope y'all learned something today. I give y'all gratitude. Y'all know my information. Hit me up. If you like the teachers, if anybody give donations, all y'all got to do, hit me up. I'll give you wisdom. And like I said, you can give whatever you want, or you don't have to give nothing. But when you do, I'm going to give you gifts. I'm always give you gifts. I'm always give you wisdom that's way more valuable. So once again, y'all know who we are. We the BPT. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Malik Reed will be leading us for workout, and we'll have Sunday school.
You know
Peace. Peace. Take us out. Peace.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seed sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager meaning. I have yet.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Once again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading funds the mental. Also brought to you by bindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your teas at My Son's Teas, the tea of teas, divinely prepared at herbsofmyaunt.com. Be sure to check out all of those musical stylings by Brian Hicks Spade at bhspademusic.com. For your everyday items and religious regalia, be sure to check out morrishaberdasher.com. And for that everyday especial Morris drip, be sure to check out morsachi.com. And all of these companies are powered by L.aw Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today. No such thing as failure, baby. Don't forget who made you. You can't be thinking minor when you need to be thinking major. They made you think they saved you, but can't nobody save you. And